Hello and welcome to this special broadcast where we focus on what experts have said, the possibility of children being infected by coronavirus in the third COVID wave in India. What comes as worrying news currently is that the Singapore government has announced that a mutant strain of the COVID-19 virus, it's called B1617 strain, is affecting children more. Singapore has now called for shutting of all schools and educational institutions till May 28th. Singapore's confirmed 38 coronavirus cases, and this is after months of near zero cases. The government, however, has said that there is no truth in the assertion that there is a new COVID strain that's originated in Singapore. They've clarified that this is a variant which originated in India. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, meanwhile, has urged centre to ban all flight operations from Singapore, to which the Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Puri replied that all international flights have been banned since March 2020. The government is preparing itself to deal now with the Singapore mutant strain by training pediatricians on treatment protocol and on conducting multiple webinars on this issue. So as parents await vaccines for their kids, there is one big worry. Experts have warned that if there is a third wave of coronavirus, kids will be most vulnerable, the most affected.
Even as India battles a second coronavirus wave, the threat of a third wave looms large. And experts say that it will be children who will be most vulnerable. Already, several children below the age of 18 years and newborns are now testing positive for COVID-19. States like Maharashtra have already set up a special pediatric task force in anticipation of the third wave that will procure medicines, ventilators, and build COVID care centers for children. The World Health Organization, however, says there is no evidence that the third wave will impact kids.
Children, we've seen from the beginning that while they can get infected, especially children under 10 are usually asymptomatic, usually not picked up and don't get sick. And it's very rare serious events that we see in children who are infected. You know, the multi-organ inflammatory syndrome, it's a very rare complication.
While the COVID threat for children does exist, the only solution, the vaccine, seems to be a long way off. The government's expert panel has cleared phase 2 and 3 trial of Bharat Biotech's Covaxin on children between the ages of 2 to 18 years. Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine has been approved by the US FDA for 12 to 18-year-olds. American President Joe Biden has asked for immediate vaccination of young teens. Moderna is also conducting KidCo vaccine study for kids aged 6 months to 12 years. One thing is for certain, we need to protect our children and do so fast. Bureau Report, India Today.
So a lot of worried parents are asking, when will the vaccination drive kick off for children, for teenagers? Well, the drug controller DCGI has now approved phase 2 and phase 3 trials of Covaxin by Bharat Biotech on children from the age of 2 to 18 years.
As pediatric wards get crowded with young ones, one thing is very clear. The coronavirus is not leaving children unaffected. The second monster wave of COVID-19 is seeing more children get infected, even those less than 5 years old. And now, a vaccine for children could be the only ray of hope against the highly infectious variants. India's indigenous vaccine maker Bharat Biotech spoke in 2020 about developing a COVID-19 vaccine for children in India. But it is only now that the firm has obtained approval from the Indian drug regulator to proceed with trials. The secondary panel has given a green signal to Bharat Biotech to begin phase 2 and 3 clinical trials on children aged between 2 to 18 years, as experts weigh in on the need to now vaccinate children.
Vaccine may take time, but we should vaccinate this group as soon as possible to prevent the third wave. One. Second, why it is important? Because in pediatric age group, you cannot isolate them in room. You cannot confine them in room. Very soon they will be out to the schools. They can be super spread. They are very near and dear to the grandparents, so they can be very injurious. If they become contagious, they can be very injurious, very unsafe for the elderly. So we need to vaccinate them.
As kids remain locked up in homes, the vaccine for children and adolescents could help return children safely back to schools.
This is more to have a final, final fight against the COVID, because children can be involved in transmission, and by doing so, we can safely open up our schools and the other activities which children have not been able to do, like camps and sports and other gatherings which they have not been able to do. So that will be a huge boost. Please give it to your children as and when this is offered and the scientific world clears it off.
The US FDA has approved Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for children of 12 to 15 years of age. Pfizer has also asked the UK drug regulator to give a go-ahead to vaccinate the kids in UK.
Even as Bharat Biotech has now been given permission by the SEC to begin trials, we'll still have to wait for at least several months before we could have a vaccine to protect children against the coronavirus. But experts have warned that the third wave, which is impending, could target children more than adults, because estimates suggest that by such time, many eligible adults would have at least taken one shot of the COVID-19 jab, which will make children and the younger population susceptible to getting infected, which is why vaccination for younger children is the need of the hour. In New Delhi, Milan Sharma for India Today.
Meanwhile,